Hi guys, I'm feeling a bit lazy today. Okay, anyway, let's talk about the whole constitutional transition that's about to happen in Zimbabwe. I know you would probably think, it's just happening, Tambika and all, but Zimbabwe is a very volatile country, let's be fair, and anything can happen in Zimbabwe. In Zimbabwe, you hear things, these things are about to happen. Then you believe, it's not going to happen. Then you believe, maybe it could happen. Then it happens. That's Zimbabwe for you. And as you know, we have the terms of the president are only 2 terms, right? And we've been seeing a lot of recent discussions of moves to amend the law, potentially allowing Emmerson Mnangagwa, the president, to extend to a 3rd term. That is problematic, let's be fair. So today I just want us to have a free discussion. Comment in this comment section below and tell me what you think. But I believe there are certain hints to it that are suggesting that it could happen. So we need to also look at what political maneuvers are happening and what is the kind of thought process between ZANU-PF. Because you look at the leader, it's like Muyenzi Auya Pamba and Ariku offer a plate of food, and he is literally ignoring the plate of food. See, how Sadza. That's what Mnangagwa is doing. He is playing it so well that he sends people in the background, people in the crowd are chanting, "Third term baba, third term baba." But he don't go to plate of food and go to tissue. Oh, food. That's what Mnangagwa is doing. And when that happens, mind you, we all fall for the same trick. We never thought this guy, whatever that was happening with Mike Grace, we thought it was just prior to 2017 coup. We thought it was just a show. Grace chanting, hey, you away, hey, whatever that Grace was talking about. But now we are in a trajectory where there can be implications for Zimbabwe's democracy. And this is just not a matter that we can discuss willy-nilly. It is not only an issue that should actually be tabled for Zimbabweans, but constitutionalism has always been an issue across Africa. So we need to agree. The president, a few months back, made a public statement that he would step down in 2028. And he called himself the constitutionalist. And this means he said he follows the law. And he promised that he will reassure everyone that 2028, he already has a date when he will stop being the president. So the question is, despite his words, why do you lead? ZANU-PF is so simple. ZANU has never done things against its leaders. Never has ZANU ever been against its leaders. Everything that you see within ZANU-PF is elitistic in a way. It runs from top to bottom. No one just wakes up today automatically. Simbi. Everything runs through directives. So why are ZANU-PF members pushing for amendments to allow the president to have a 3rd term? Ask that question. Who can answer? I mean, why? Why not Pambeli na Vice President Chiwenga? Why not something transitional? what's so important about the idea that Mnangagwa should be reinstated for the third term, so big that everyone within the party structures and cells is echoing the same sentiments? Are you getting me? But then we need to question the legalities of things. What is the legal roadblock here? So the Zimbabwean constitution, it is section 328, I think must be subsection 7, specifically prevents the sitting president from benefiting directly from term limit amendments. So this means that Mnangagwa himself, to get a third term, it doesn't need to be Mnangagwa suggesting it. It has to be Peter, John, Jacob, Linda, and Chipo from elsewhere. So for this to be changed, they need something. And this something, we have done it before. But this time around, it's different because it's a deadly one, a very serious one. So this time around, they need what they call a referendum. And we had it. We had it in Zimbabwe. That was around 2013, if I'm not mistaken. 2013, 2012. When we had a referendum for amendment number 20 of the Constitution. Douglas Monzora na, who was that guy? Mangwana. Paul Mangwana, yeah? So, 2 national votes. So one has to increase the term limit and another to allow Mnangagwa specifically to benefit from the change. So we have 2 amendments and they have to be national. Everyone has to vote. So one, we need to have 3rd terms. The second one, we need that third term to be Mnangagwa's. So this is not just lengthy. It's complicated. It's a complicated process. And it needs significant, I'm talking about 2017 level of support. Massive support. The whole nation has to gather at some point to say, Tinogu Daiva Mnangagwa, we love you, we need you here. So, definitely this is a gamble. Especially looking at the political climate in Zimbabwe. We do not know where the other interested parties stay or are. Like Chiwenga, who knows? How do you know his intentions? Will the opposition parties allow it? So now, what is the driving push? I think we can I can actually go deep into it. Why is this push for a 3rd term so important for Mnangagwa? Why is it so important? Why not any other thing? Why this 3rd term? Why? You ask a question, right? I think from their perspective, of course, it's always delusional. The analysts would say, obviously it's about Agenda 2030, we need someone with, because their notion is that this guy has done a lot in a short space of time, yet we have given him a short space of time to run the country. How about if we increase his time and get good results in that long space of time? It doesn't make sense because clearly the country is not run by one man. The country is run by a lot of people. And if the cabinet is doing well, if the whole leadership is good like they claim to be, then we don't need them. We just need whatever playbook he used to get the country going forward, which I know he's not. So he has 2030 goals, a vision for the country's future. And he says it aligns with the ruling party's long-term economic and political objectives. But Mnangagwa alone is said to be the messiah of these people. So they want to maintain the status quo of the party, where power struggles are often intense and somewhat violent, of course. So I would say, keeping Mnangagwa in power, certain factions in ZANU-PF also would like to see that. Why? Because if they leave Mnangagwa power, when he maintains his power, it means internal competition, because most of the people that are there, politically speaking, the only person who is close to Mnangagwa's proximity could be Chiwenga. But certain factions within ZANU, they want to secure the influence, obviously, the control of national resources. So they know if they're aligned to a certain faction, which is the crocodile, whatever they call it, they don't have to get another shift of things. Because remember, when ED got into power, certain people lost their advantages and the benefits, if you remember. Some of them are Nachiwuri and people who were not within his camp. So because ZANU-PF is a factional party, people are aligned still with the system that we need to keep this man here so that there won't be so much violence and so much moving around of things. You don't want to be on the wrong side. So they're trying so hard to maintain the status quo. Anyways, let's go back and talk about why the public is actually talking about this thing. So here's where it gets interesting. So many Zimbabweans are getting so skeptical about this, because in Zimbabwe, it starts with a rumor. A rumor becomes, oh, there is a bill. Then a bill becomes a reality. So we need to look at this from a perspective of, are we really serious about this whole thing? And if it's possible that they are serious about it, we are in trouble. So some critics would also argue that instead of amending the constitution to suit political agendas, government should focus on, let's say, for example, we don't have water in the country. We don't have electricity in the country. We don't have things that are more important than someone serving third terms. For example, we need basic necessities like food. We need things like clothing. We need unemployment rates dropped. We need inflation dealt with. We need the financial situation in the country dealt with. And daily lives of Zimbabweans would actually need a bit of a revamp. But someone is focusing on things that are not even important, and we still have many years for him to deal with that. I mean, why would you focus on things that are not, these are frivolous things? Why would you waste our time and discuss about political transitions when we need you to be working during your term? If we can ask ZANU-PF to not ignore calls for constitutional integrity and democratic succession, this would lead to serious issues, not only within ZANU-PF, but actually in the country. Why is the military written all over this? It's because Zimbabwe's current leadership is so deeply intertwined with the military. So history has been very, very kind to military involvement in Zimbabwe's history. So Mnangagwa came to power through a military coup, right? And some are fearing that the third term push could once again embolden the military involvement in political matters. Is the military in bed still with Mnangagwa? Food for thought. What do you think? So we need to have a whole new transition after Mnangagwa, where there is a strong civilian-led democracy. So I would actually say, for the future, we need to protect the constitution of Zimbabwe by all means. We need to take charge of it. We need to have better leaders. And by the way, ZANU-PF is way better leaders than Mnangagwa. And it would actually make a lot of sense for the longevity of the political party ZANU-PF if they would actually replace him with someone younger or someone better. Because for a party, it's all about a collective effort, not just one man. And Zimbabwe has the opportunity to set an example in Africa by upholding its own laws. So if ZANU-PF and Mnangagwa are genuinely interested about Zimbabwe's future, I think they should respect the constitution and they should allow peaceful transition of power in 2028. I think is very important. So I think I'm done. Talked a lot. So for Zimbabwe, if you're watching here, I think we need to follow the right path to constitutional integrity and peaceful transition of power and succession. And if we can do that, we do not intend to see any unrest happening again. And we need to have Zimbabweans who deserve a better government. And let's hope that the leaders today will make a vision into a reality, to not do this, whatever that they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. But anyways, this was just a chat. Didn't research anything. Just thought of talking. Anyways, till next time.